So my due date is Saturday, the 10th. I know. So I asked my doctor today if Hank could come on the 15th, and she laughed at me because the 15th would get us through next writing week. So that's what I'm going for here, and that's what I'm hoping. So we'll see. So I will tell you I'm a little anxious about not making it through writing week with you. So I think I'm going to record a bunch of videos this afternoon about the DBQ. So going forward, sorry, I thought I heard my dog puke again and I was going to die. Very exciting morning over here. So I am planning on recording a couple of videos for you. I've modified a couple DBQs for you going forward, and we're going to try to make this work as best as we possibly can. So we good? I'm so sorry. All right. So, as we know, we are talking about this week. You're in your Barron's books. You have a vocab quiz today. Yes, have we done it? Some of you were doing it at 7:00 this morning. If you haven't done your vocab quiz, please make sure you have your vocab quiz done. You also have a Barron's book due on Wednesday. I heard you guys talking about it. It is due on Wednesday. You're going to submit me a video of you just flipping through the pages. I need to see your face. You're going to show me a picture of your face. Like, it does not need to be glamorous, people. It's not being posted. No one else is going to see it. But in order to cut down on cheating of one person making a video and then everyone submits the same damn video, see, if you show me just give me a screenshot of your face for 2 seconds and then show me your video, and that's how, show me your book, and that's it. So you're just flipping through the pages, scrolling through, and that's it. You can send it to my Instagram or you can send it to Edsby, whatever you think makes it easier for you. I will tell you in AP Psych, most people found it easier to submit via Instagram just because it's easier to post. So it's completely up to you. If you can do it via Edsby, I'd prefer Edsby, to be honest. But if you can only send it via Instagram, I'm perfectly fine with that. Everyone okay with that? So the requirements are just a quick photo, like glimpse of your face, and flipping through the pages. Everyone good? We'll go into a little bit more detail on Tuesday about that because I really want to cover content, because on Friday we started talking about the test and we didn't really cover content. So I'm trying to hurry up to get to content today, if that's okay with you. So that's that. So you should be working on your Barron's book. You are not answering questions in your Barron's book. Everyone gets that, right? Like, we are not answering questions. You're doing enough stuff. We don't have time for that shit. So you're not answering questions. Anything that's in a box, you don't have to annotate, but I would read through, because the whole point of the box is to consolidate the information. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, they're trying to simplify information for you, so it makes sense that you would pay attention to it. But hopefully you've all started. Have we all started your Barron's books? Okay. Have you been doing them outside? I hope you have been. Have you taken them outside to do it, or are you just sitting in their trapped little... People, go outside. Aren't you just sad being inside all the time? Yeah, go outside. You're not... I'm just saying, go outside and sit in a chair outside, your kitchen door, people. I'm not saying wander the earth. I'm just saying sit in the sun, feel the breeze. That's all. I would just like you to get away from something electronic, maybe. I'm just saying, that's just my suggestion. You can take it or ignore it. It's completely up to you. All right. So there's some content that I definitely want to cover today. So I am going to write some things out. You do not have to write anything out. If you want, I will write some things out and I'll take a photo of it and I'll post it on Edsby. How's that? Does that make you happy? Because I know that you're sitting there working on your Barron's book and I'm not mad about it. I see you switching from highlighters to pens and all that stuff. I see the coffee, Maddie. I see you. With that being said, I'm going to make some notes over here just because I have a plan for myself for the day, and I just want to make sure I hit it. So just a friendly reminder, all of you should be referencing your little digital guide for this week, which is this. Of course, we're on Monday, so you have week 7 vocab quizzes due. You should be working on your Barron's book. Today I'm going to cover major people and major civilizations, just to make sure we got it, because I didn't really cover that much content on Friday because we were talking about the AP exam. So that is the plan for today. Everyone okay with that? All right, perfect. So you don't need to write these down, but I am just going to cover like a bunch of content for you and make sure we're kind of all on the same page. And if any time, my darlings, you have a question, a comment, anything like that, please, please, please let me know. In case you haven't noticed, I am in a new location of my house. Not that it's a big house, but it is a new location. I'm in my dining room now because I got kicked out of the nursery. All right, here we go. So while we were talking, I want to talk about AP Modern. Okay, and you can't see that at like all. That's better. All right. So for AP Modern, we're going to do Unit 0 or pre-AP Modern. So major things that you should know. You need to know who the hairpins are. Okay, and who are the hairpins? We kind of talked about them kind of around. Who are the hairpins, guys? Oh no. What religion did they find? They're the foundation of what religion here, people? Yes. They're the foundation of Hinduism. They're the foundation of it. So they're the ones that have all the stories, but who is the one who actually creates it? It starts with an A. Yes. Oh my God, people. Yes, the Aryans, they create Hinduism. Okay, so these are some things that you should know. Okay, so pre-AP, you need to know that the hairpins are the foundation of Hinduism. However, it's the Aryans that actually create Hinduism. Okay, so the caste system is created by who, people? Yes. Okay, so when you think about the actual creation of Hinduism, caste system, all that stuff, it's all actually done by the hairpins, but it's all based on the hairpins, but it's created by the Aryans. All right. Now, another major group that you should know are the Hebrews. Okay, and the Hebrews are going to create what religion? Judaism, yeah. Judaism, okay. They're going to be the foundation of that. They're in what region, ladies and gentlemen? There you go. And where are our hairpins and Aryans located? Nope, not Southeast. South Asia. South Asia. You got to make sure you got your regions right, guys. Okay, so they're located in South Asia because everything in India is South Asia. Then we have the Middle East. We have the Jews, which are going to create Judaism, okay, which is your first monotheistic, of course. Okay, diaspora. What does diaspora mean?
It's like the spreading out of religion.
No, it is not.
I just feel like the Jewish diaspora when they all like, went to different
Yeah, but why? What's a diaspora?
like
Yes, it's forced, Reagan. It's forced. Yeah. No, you're good, darling. But that's like a huge term. You got to make sure you understand that's forced because the Jews weren't doing it peacefully. Keep that in mind. Remember, that's why they get Israel back in Zionism and all that stuff. Yeah, perfect. All right. So that's the major one you need to know in the Middle East. Okay. And then you should be familiar with Xia, Shang, and Zhao. Okay. These dynasties. So, what is so famous about the Xia dynasty?
First dynasty.
Yeah, they're the first. They're the first dynasty. Okay. And they form along what river, ladies and gentlemen?
Yellow River.
Yeah. They form along the Yellow River. And what is so famous about that Yellow River? Yeah, it floods unpredictable. It's completely unpredictable. Okay, it's completely unpredictable. So, but they're the first ones to actually kind of do something about it. All right, then we have the Shang. What are the Shang famous for? Bronze, perfect. So if they're the only place that has bronze, that makes them the world's first what, people?
Military power.
There you go, military power. Okay, so we have the Shang, who are the first to have bronze, which makes them the world's first military power. Okay, they are going to be incredibly effective. And they're going, what do you got, JP?
Would that be like the process of metallurgy?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, metallurgy, anything that has anything to do with metals is going to be metallurgy. That's just the big broad category. Bronze metallurgy, iron metallurgy, all those all fall under the category. So you have the Shang, which is your first military power, of course. Okay, and then you have the Zhao. What are the Shang also are going to implement what? Oh God, guys. Ooh, a puppy. Oh God, guys, what government structure is the foundation of the Chinese dynastic system?
The mandate of heaven.
Yes, guys, you need to know the Shang are the ones with the mandate of heaven. Okay, so they're the ones who start it. However, it's the Zhao who really embrace the mandate of heaven. Okay, so it is the Shang who start this whole lore of mandate of heaven, but it is the Zhao who base everything on it. And who can tell me what is the mandate of heaven? Hold on. What do you got, Katarina? Katarina, what's the mandate of heaven? Oh, I'm sorry. It sounded like you. I'm so sorry, my darling. What is the mandate of heaven? Anyone? Yeah. So what happens if the gods do not approve of you, Andrew? What happens? Perfect. Absolutely. So it justifies the emperor's rule. Emperor's rule or overthrow. Perfect. Okay. So, and that's all done by the Zhao. Okay. Now, another, and oh, where is this all happening, ladies and gentlemen? What region is this happening in? East Asia. Yeah, this is East Asia. Perfect. All right. So this is all like unit 0. Okay. This is all technically from what I have here is from it's from essentially this isn't going well, 600 BCE to 600 CE. So it's still pre. So those are all the date ranges. So this is 600 BCE to 600 CE. So now we're going to cover 600 CE to 14, actually, I'm messing that up. BCE to 600 CE. And this is BCE. This is 1200 BCE. Perfect. All right. So we're now focusing on 1200 to 600 BCE, which is still pre-modern. So this is all technically before everything you're supposed to, but these are things you should be aware of. So other things that you should be aware of are the Gupta. Now, the Gupta are famous for what, ladies and gentlemen? What's their big discovery? Perfect. Monsoon winds. And Miss Moore, why do we care about monsoon winds? It opens up trade where, Miss Moore?
It pops up in the Indian Ocean.
Opens up Indian Ocean basin trade. Perfect. Okay, and that's why we care about the Gupta. So you should be familiar with the Gupta because they're the ones who discover monsoon winds, and that opens Indian Ocean basin trade, which is a huge deal, of course. You should also be familiar with the Mayoran because the Mayoran is going to have a leader called Ashoka, and Ashoka is going to support the foundation of what religion, ladies and gentlemen? Buddhism, yes. Okay, so you should be familiar with Mayoran, Ashoka. Buddhism is all going to start underneath him. Okay, so you should be familiar with that. So what region are these two in?
South Asia.
Perfect. So they are in South Asia. So we're just going to denote that. All right, another group that you should know is the Qin. And you should know the Han. So these are still pre-AP. So they're technically not things you absolutely have to know, but they're things you should know in order to do well on your exam. So who are the Qin? What are the Qin famous for, guys?
They start legalism.
Yeah, they're going to do legalism. Okay, and legalism really nice or super, super harsh? It's super harsh. Okay, it's super harsh. Okay, and because of that, they're going to get overthrown pretty quickly. However, we do have an important person, Qin Shuangdu. Okay, and what is Qin Shuangdu do? AP Art History, kids, you better know this. Ren will be so brokenhearted.
The terracotta soldiers.
Yeah. Terracotta soldiers. Okay, now what is going on during the Qin that really is the reason why we care? Who's wandering the earth at this time? And writing things down and dying in the basement of his parents' house. And huh?
Lousy.
No, because he's Taoism.
Oh wait, the Confucianist guy.
Yeah, Kung Fuzi, man, come on.
Oh.
Kung Fuzi is wandering around. Kung Fuzi, Confucianism, is going to start technically during the Qin dynasty. Okay, so he's kind of wandering around during this time. So then that's like really the only thing you really need to know about the Qin is just be aware that Kung Fuzi is walking around and starting Confucianism, which no one really cares about until after he dies. Does anyone remember the name of the book he wrote? It starts with an A. Analects. Perfect. Analects. Perfect. All right. So then we have the Han. Okay. The Han are going to be the one to implement what? What philosophy do they implement?
Confucian.
Yeah. So you need to know that they're the ones who implement Confucianism. Okay. Han Wudi is the major dude. Okay. He's the guy who does it, and he creates Confucian universities. Yes. Do we remember these? Yes. Okay. He implements all that stuff. There's also another major thing that you should know about the Han. What else starts underneath the Han?
Silk cultivation.
Silk cultivation, yes. Which is going to start what major economic? Yeah, Silk Road. Silk Road opens. Okay. And it opens between the Han and who? So it's Han via the Han are moving silk to who?
Romans.
Yes, it's the Romans. Okay, so the Han are going to, the big things you need to know about the Han, because you don't need to know everything about the Han, but you do need to be familiar. Okay, they are the ones who are going to implement Confucianism. Han Wudi is going to be the major guy who really supports it. And then, of course, we're going to have the Silk Road is going to open with the Han and trading silk with the Romans. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now, what region are we in here, guys? East Asia, perfect. East Asia, perfect. All right, so now, if we've talked about the Han, we might as well talk about our European counterparts. So your next one are the Romans. Now, there's only a couple real big things you definitely need to know about the Romans. What major religion is going to start under the Romans? There you go, Christianity. Christianity begins. Okay, Jesus is executed. And what dude is wandering around creating Christianity?
Paul of Stars.
There you go, Paul of Stars starts the church.
I have a question.
What's up, JP?
So in the book, when they go over like the creation of Christianity, they mention Jesus of Nazareth being like the main guy who creates it. So why is that?
Because they're taking a cheap road. We know better. Jesus died a Jew, remember? If he wanted to be a Christian, wouldn't he have died a Christian? He didn't. He died a Jew, which is why he's buried within 3 days, which is why he was encased in a tomb. All of those components. He died a Jew. He followed the traditional burials of a Jew. Mary, his mother, buried him in accordance to being a Jew. He did not start Christianity. You need to understand that your book does really well on some things and does not so great on some other things. Does that make sense? You have been taught directly that Christianity is created by Paul of Tarsus. That's what you need to know. Of course, Jesus is a part of it because everything is based off Jesus, but in fact, it is made by Paul of Tarsus. Does that work for you, JP? Okay, good. All right. So for the Romans, of course, we have Christianity. You need to know. The other thing you need to know is their law code, which is the foundation of law codes for a very, very long time. And what's the name of that law code? There, it is tables, but what's the number of tables?
12 tables.
12 tables is the law code. Okay, so the 12 tables are the law code, and they're going to be implemented. You should also know that they are the foundation of Western civilization. Okay. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Alrighty. So for the Romans, where are they? What region are they in, guys? Europe, Western Europe. Yep. They are in Western Europe. Perfect. All right. So these are all of the major aspects that are pre-AP. So these are all the things that you are supposed to know that are not specifically covered in your actual content. So you aren't supposed to be able to show up and you're supposed to know this stuff even though this is not in the time period that you are responsible for. Is everyone clear on that? So we covered it and I taught you this stuff, but this isn't explicitly taught to you in your content because AP Modern, Unit 1 is actually 1200 to 1450. This is what you're actually responsible for, this start. So with that being said, everything we just talked about, technically you need to know. It's called pre-AP, but it is not explicitly necessary. It's not explicitly taught within the content being covered, but we covered it and you should know it because you can't answer questions on the exam without having this background knowledge, which is why we're going over it. So now that we're actually in content, here we go. So first we're going to start with the gunpowder empires. Ladies and gentlemen, who can give me my gunpowder empires?
The Ottomans.
Ottomans are not. Safavids are. Okay. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I'm confusing things. I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not doing our gunpowder empires. We're doing our Islamic empires. I'm so sorry. So the Safavids, the Abbasid, and the Umayyad. Okay, so these are our three major dynasties. Okay, these are your Islamic empires. So, Islamic empires, and that is important for you to know. Okay, so when we're talking about the Abbasid, their major empire is located in Baghdad. That's their capital. Okay, they are going to be in Baghdad. You need to know that they are major traders. They are the ones who are making the most money off the Silk Road. Okay, and they are the ones who will be defeated by the Mongols. Do you remember how we talked about how the Mongols took over Baghdad? Yes, and they slaughtered everyone in a square, like 200,000 people. Yes, do we remember that? Hello? Yeah? Okay. So, okay, you need to know that they are famous for making, they are the ones who make paper currency. They make paper currency popular. Okay, and they are going to be making much more economic contributions. Okay, so that's like their big claim to fame. Okay, so for the Umayyad, the big thing that you need to know is that they are going to be, the Umayyad are going to be your first Islamic dynasty. And they are pro-Arabs. And that's going to cause them a lot of problems. And then the Safavids, you just need to know that they are going to be the most religious. That's pretty much, if you had to boil them down, that would be the things that you need to know. All right, so those are, and what region are these guys in? What region, guys? If they're Islamic empires, what region are they in?
Middle East.
Yes, they're in the Middle East, people. All right, so your next major thing that we're going to talk about is Europe. Okay, so that's our region. We're going to start right there. What is happening in Europe? What government system is being implemented?
Feudalism.
Feudalism. Feudalism is going to be implemented. So this is post-Rome. Okay, can anyone tell me what year Rome falls? 410, but yeah. 410. Okay, it collapses. Yes, Joey.
I think the Safavids are part of the gunpowder empires.
They're going to last for a long time. They're going to kind of overlap. So when we talk about these ones, they're going to kind of exist, but they're the ones that first get knocked out by the gunpowder empires.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they're going to last for a while, and then they get knocked out because they refuse to kind of adopt as quickly. That's the thing. All right, so for feudalism, you need to know it's post-Rome. In 410, it collapses. Okay, you need to know it's a decentralized government. Okay, and it's based on what? What two things? Hello?
Local rulers.
Well, it's decentralized, which means it has to be based on. Feudalism, there you go, rights and obligations. Okay, it's based on rights and obligations. So at the top you have the king, then you have lords / nobles, then you have knights, then you have peasants, then you have serfs. Okay, so they are mostly a figurehead. The king is mostly a figurehead. So do they have tons and tons of power? No, but they're still there. So they have the most power. Okay, so they have the most power, and they live In a what? What do we call the house that they live in? There you go. In the manor house. And the manor house is the center of the economy. Okay. Then we have knights. They are the military component. They are the military aspect. And they fight for the Lord. Okay, they have the most power, and so the lords and nobles, they fight in the king's name. Okay, and then your knights are the military aspect, and they fight for the Lord. Peasants are free people. And then serfs are tied to the fiefs. What's a fief, people? Yeah, there you go. They're tied to the land. They are not what, people? They are not slaves, okay? They work the land in exchange for protection. So knights, I also want to write the word vassal, just in case you see vassal on the exam. Knights and vassals are the same thing. So when we talk about feudalism, this is happening in Europe is what we're specifically referring to here. It's post-Rome, 410. It's a decentralized government. It's based on rights and obligations. We have the king, who's essentially a figurehead. Lords and nobles have the most power. They fight in the king's name. They live in a manor house, which is the center of their economy. Then we have peasants who are free people who can wander, but they typically don't. And then we have serfs who are tied to the land, who are not slaves. They work the land in exchange for protection. Now, yeah, what's up?
I thought that vassals were
Lords and nobles and lords and vassal. So if you decide to study feudalism in college, there's like 5 interchangeable words for each of these. So
it uses it as lord, but
yeah, because like lords and nobles can be interchangeable. Vassals sometimes are used to describe the military component. So as long as you always use like this word or lords, they'll score perfectly. Does that make sense? Yeah, no problem. Okay, now who can tell me, so why does this begin? Why does feudalism begin?
Because the Vikings were causing problems.
There you go, absolutely. Started because Vikings were ransacking Europe. People needed protection. And why were the Vikings ransacking?
That's how the Vikings make money. That's their economic base.
Yeah, it is their economic. It's their economic gains, yes. But why did they start doing it? They found out that they were like super good at it, so they kept doing it.
they were all centralized, like all the cities were centralized.
They were overpopulated.
Yes, they're overpopulated. They're overpopulated and ran out of food. So they originally started by just going out and trying to get food in order to feed their people. And then they're like, yeah, but we're really good at this. And they're like, we might as well keep doing it. And guess what they kept doing? This. All right, so another dynasty, something that you should be familiar with in Europe is the Carolingian. Is this working for you? Is this helpful? Yeah? Okay, this is worth our time? Okay. So the Carolingian, just kind of a little bit of a refresh. Okay, Carolingians. And who is the major dude you need to know for Carolingians? Charlemagne, absolutely. So Charlemagne, he is pro-literacy. Okay, so he's all about reading. Okay, He is a centralized power. He is a centralized power. So he's the first person to be centralized after Rome. Okay, so he's pro-literacy, he's a centralized power. Okay, and those are the big things that you need to know about him. And he becomes the first Holy Roman Emperor. And this pisses off who? Who else is going? Not the Pope. Where are most Christians located? Yes, it's going to piss off the Byzantine Empire. It's going to piss off the Byzantine Empire, eventually leading to what major event? There you go. Perfect. Okay, so that's really the only thing. And keep in mind, these are, of course, all in Europe. So that's where we are at the moment. So feudalism, the big things you need to know is feudalism and the Carolingians. Okay, just because we're going to see it's going to lead to the massive conflict in between Byzantines and, of course, Western Europe. So the next place we're going to talk about is Africa. So your next one, let's do Kingdom of Aksum first. Okay, so when we talk about the Kingdom of Aksum, it's in Africa. So I'll write Africa over here. Okay, but where in Africa is the Kingdom of Aksum? Oh God, guys.
North Africa?
No, it's kind of the north. Where is it? Trans-Saharan? Is it sub-Saharan? Indian Ocean Basin? Oh no. Okay. No, it is Indian Ocean Basin. And what else is Kingdom of Aksum famous for, guys? They're the only place in Africa to have it pre-slave trade. Yes, they're Christians. They're Christians. And they get it from Indian Ocean Basin trade. Now, are there a ton of Christians in Indian Ocean Basin trade? No, which is why it is very strange that we have Africa in. It's very strange that why they turn to Christianity because there's just not that many Christians in the Indian Ocean Basin trade. Okay, they're technically what kind of state? If they're in the Indian Ocean Basin, what states are they a part of, people? Yeah, Swahili city-states. It's a Swahili city-state. Okay, they're massive traders, as we know, because that's why they're here. Okay, and the big thing is that they're Christians. They're the only people in Africa to adopt Christianity early on. And they have a obelisk. Okay, they have the pointy thing. Do we remember this? Yes? Hello? Yeah, obelisk. That's not how you spell it, but that's fine. All right, so Kingdom of Aksum, you need to be familiar with. Kingdom of Ghana. Okay. During this time, we have Kingdom of Ghana. They are going to be your first kingdom. Where? And Trans-Saharan. Yeah, I'm going to write along Trans-Saharan trade route. Yep. Okay, so they are your first kingdom. Okay, which means to be a kingdom, they need to have a large population. A large population. Okay, and it is based on what, people? If they're along the Trans-Saharan trade route, what are they based on? Trade. So they happen to be your first, and they're going to be overthrown by who? Yeah, overthrown by the Malay. Okay, but they are your first, and that's what makes them important. All right, so Kingdom of Malay, here we go. Okay, and where are they located?
Along the Trans-Saharan trade route.
Yeah, Trans-Saharan trade route. Okay, and they have a couple major people. Who is one of their major people? Kingdom of Malay. There's two. Okay, we have Mansa Musa. Okay, so he comes second. So he's your second major ruler. So I'm just going to denote that. But he's famous for what?
Taking a pilgrimage to Mecca and devaluing gold.
Yeah, so he does a Hajj to Mecca. And he devalues gold. Okay, and he is a devout Muslim. Okay, who is the first guy that we need to know for Kingdom of Malay? Sundiata. Sundita. He is your first major person, and what is his big claim to fame?
He converts them to Islam for economic reasons.
There you go. Converts Malay to Islam for economic gain. Perfect. Okay, so that's his big thing. So there's two major people that you need to know, Mansa Musa and Sundita, and he's doing it for economic gain. So is he really a good Muslim? No, but he does bring it. His grandson, who is Mansa Musa, he is a huge Muslim, super devout, builds tons of mosques, tons of support, all of that stuff. Now, let's acknowledge quickly. I guess we have Songhay dynasty. And what is Songhay famous for? Where are they located? Oh, geez, people. They're continuing on the Malay trend. So where are they?
Saharan trade.
Yeah, they're Trans-Saharan, yeah. They're Trans-Saharan. Okay. They are going to be more, more westward along coastline. Okay. And you just need to be familiar with them. The fact that they are there, the fact that they continue to exist and have it. They will eventually conquer Malay eventually. That's pretty much what you need to know. Okay, so the big thing is that you just need to know. Does anyone know what their major trading city is? It starts with a T, and it's fun to say. Yeah, Timbuktu. Timbuktu is their major cultural center, and you need to know it is a scholar center for the world. So it's a huge cultural place. So it's going to be a huge place for that. So you just need to know it's westward, so it's in West Africa. This is a little bit more, Malay is a little bit more centralized, and so is the Kingdom of Ghana. Perfect. Yeah. So we've got about 10 minutes to go. So we're in Africa at the moment. So I hope that you see that we're just kind of going over your empires right now. Yes? So we have major events that I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Is that okay with you? Okay, I know we talked about feudalism, but I feel feudalism is more like an empire and kind of things like that. So we'll do one more today, if that's okay with you, and then we'll kind of break up for the day. Is that okay? Hello? Are we alive? Okay. All right, so let's go to the Americas. Okay, so let's focus on the Americas. How exciting. All right, so for the Americas, we have two major empires that you need to know of. Of course, we have the Aztecs, who are the coolest. All right, what do we know about the Aztecs? What are they famous for?
Their pyramids and human sacrifices.
Yeah, so they're all about human sacrifice. Human sacrifice, okay. Their major capital city is what? Yeah, and you know your girl's not going to say it, but I'll happily spell it for you. Okay, which happens to be the largest city in the world. Okay, you also need to know they will eventually be defeated by who? I'm going to write eventually because it happens after a long time. Eventually defeated by who? Yeah, they're eventually defeated by the Spanish. Okay, they are going to facilitate trade with North America and South America. So they're not isolated. Okay, and that's a huge deal. You are going to see that they are going to they use a lot of slaves / war captives. Are very, very valuable. Why? Who can tell me why slaves and war captives are super, super valuable?
Is it because they didn't use beasts of burden?
Is it because they didn't use beasts of burden, or there you go. There's a huge distinguish. There you go. So they have no beasts of burden. Until when, Reagan?
The Spanish?
Yeah, until Spanish arrive. Okay, so one of the major values is doing that. So another major term that we need to know, what happens when you take over a territory and you say, hey, you can do your own thing as long as you pay me cash? What do we call that system?
Tribute system.
Tribute. Yeah, they use a tribute system. They use a tribute system to gain control. So that's one of their big things. They're not the only ones to do it, but they are super, super powerful because of it. And they are a military force. They're a military power. All right, so that's the Aztecs. Now, who is my other American civilization here?
The Incas.
The Incans, perfect. Now, these are in central Mexico, so I'm going to write central Mexico so we know that. The Aztecs are in central Mexico, and where are the Incans located? What mountain range are they in?
The Andes.
Yeah, they're in the Andes Mountains. Okay, and they are famous for their what? Yeah, they're famous for their road system.
Don't they also build ziggurats or something?
They also have small temples. The ziggurats, which are just like stepped temples, is kind of, that's more of a Mayan thing. The Aztecs do a little bit of it, but that's more of a Mayan thing, which is going to predate both the Aztecs and the Incans. So they're famous for the road system, and they're famous for their mita system. Who can tell me what their mita system is?
It was their system of counting, right?
Yeah. Okay. It is. It's not counting. It is their government.
It's kind of like the labor system.
Yeah, it's a government required labor system.
What is
People.
It's the Quitpu.
oh yeah, thank you.
The Quitpu is the counting system, and that's based on what? They tie a bunch of what?
Knots.
Yeah, they tie a bunch of knots. That's their big thing. Okay. For the Incans, you should know that they are polytheistic. Same with here. Same with the Aztecs. They're polytheistic. They're polytheistic as well. They are not, they are very limited on food. So any type of problems with harvest is going to cause huge famines. So we do need to be aware of that. And that's like their big thing. So they are very limited on food. If they're very limited, we have lots of famines. That's like the big thing that you should know about them. That's okay. Oh, Machu Picchu, whatever. Has Ren's trip to South America been canceled? I haven't spoken to him. Has it been canceled? Anyone know? I would assume it has. Yes? No? Anyone? Okay, good talk. So I'm going to call it quits right there because I only have 4 minutes with you and there's no way that I can do Sultanate of Delhi. Just no way. So with that being said, I'm going to walk away. So tomorrow, just so you can kind of see, this is my little cheat sheet. I'm going to do the Sultanate of Delhi tomorrow for empires. I'm going to do the Song and the Yuan dynasty, and I'm going to do the Nara and the Heian for Japan. Those are the dynasties. And then we're going to talk about some major events. Oh, and the Mongols, of course, the Yuan dynasty, of course. And then we're going to talk about major events. Does that sound good to you? Hello? Are we alive out there? Or did I bore you all to tears and you just couldn't take it anymore? Yes, bored you to tears? That makes sense. My husband looks bored listening to me, I can tell you that. All right. So hopefully this helps. Did that help? Just kind of reviewing a little bit, kind of getting some simplistic information. I know you guys were probably working on your bearings book, which I'm really not offended by. So I'll take a photo of this and I'll post on Edsby. Does that help? Make your life just a little bit easier, because I just need to write it down because I want to make sure I'm covering certain things. So I do it for me, not really for you, but I might as well help you out if I can. So any questions, concerns, anything else I can help you with? You guys doing okay? Are we enjoying quarantine life? Yes, Katerina. What do you got, Katerina? Yeah. I have no idea. Our governor has been a little bit slow behind most states about it. I know Brevard County, which is south in Miami, has canceled school for the rest of the year. So I don't know. I think most of these decisions are being led by the governors, not by the county. I know Brevard County was tired of waiting for DeSantis to make a decision, so they kind of just said, we're done. So I don't really know. Hillsborough County is, I wouldn't say has been the most proactive on stuff. Does that make sense when you look at the rest? So I don't think we're going to get a decision for another while longer. So if you're really wondering if we're ever going back, I would wait for the CDC in a couple weeks. They're probably, I don't know anything. I'm not important, but they're probably going to extend our quarantine. Can we agree? So with that being said, I think during the next extension, because even if you're watching Fox News, CNN, whatever you watch, Bay News 9, whatever you watch, everyone's kind of expecting the CDC to extend because it's only supposed to be going for another 2 weeks. But I think everyone is seeing that this week is supposed to be the worst week so far. It's supposed to be a very deadly week here in the United States. So the fact that we could be a week after this week be back to normal, that doesn't make much sense. Can we agree? So I would expect the next time the CDC rolls out hey, this is what we're doing, then I would expect an announcement from the governor to be either to cancel school, to officially say we're doing digital to the end of the year, stuff like that. So that's what I would say, but I don't know anything and I'm of no importance. So, yes, excuse me. No, I don't think so. Yeah, no. I just think Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%. I mean, I haven't, everything's changing so fast, Reagan. I'm not 100%, but I know you don't have any county exams. So I think it's just going to be whatever grade you earn is the grade you earn,
Okay.
if I had to guess.
Yeah. What do you think about like the overall situation and how like the government's dealing with like the ventilator problems and stuff like that?
I mean, that's so far above my pay grade. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of things in motion and a lot of things occurring, and it kind of depends on your political background, whether you think things are going well or not well. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want us to be as safe as possible. And I think quarantining is probably the best thing we can be doing right now. Can we agree? If the smartest people in the room are telling us this is what we should be doing, guess what we should be doing? Quarantining. So whether you think the government's doing a great job, terrible job, whatever, that's kind of your opinion. But I think we can all agree when all the experts around the world say we should be doing this, I'm glad we're doing this. Can we agree? So, all right, guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day in quarantine. Maybe go outside and sit outside and do a Barron's book. Like, let's not go exploring, but like sit in the sun. I don't know. All right. Goodbye, my darlings. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Tomorrow's 9 o'clock because I don't have a doctor's appointment. Bye, guys.